field waiting to kick. Ontar. Sharp. Tried to wrong foot Langer, but he didn't. Now he kicks out. He could have been penalised. Mackie. He gets the kick in. The referee calls play on. Alexander just stopped. I don't know whether he thought he heard a call or something. I can't understand why he held it. A touch judge is in. Now this is for the... Well, this is crazy because referee David Campbell had turned around to watch the play and he called play on. His own touch judge has literally come in to overrule him. Now Langer is saying to the referee, you called play on, you saw it. He got a shoulder charge from Geyer that in slow-mo was really going to tell you that it looks a lot worse. The referee was even pointing to it there, saying that he saw it. So his touch judge has overruled him. The Australians run back into position, very disappointed. But in actual fact, well, now the referee has made up his mind. This is unbelievable. The referee had to be told by Alan Langer, virtually, what are we doing? Where are you giving penalties? He's going to go down and give it where the ball landed. That's where it had to be given. Now, the ball landed another 15 metres downfield. All of a sudden, we end up on halfway with another penalty. You work it out. So, from nearly coming away with the ball themselves, they're under a mile of pressure. The referee gets in the way of Hull as they try to talk of... This is comedy capers here at the Boulevard. Jackson. The Australians will be desperate to hang on here. Marlowe very strongly. The crowd are roaring. Hull searching for try number 2. Mackie chipping into the goal. I think the Australians were offside in that play. The ball was charged down. Fittler came up with it. Now, was he offside? Well, what has he ruled? If he hasn't ruled him offside, then it should be play on. So mark it down again. Now Ontar says, give me the ball. Langer says, I want it. Just what's happening. Just what's happening here at the Boulevard. Now Ontar has stripped it. And the referee says, give it back to Langer. Oh, I just can't believe what's occurring here. You've got to be enjoying this at home. The Australians mightn't be on the field. It's pretty grim for them at the moment. Sargent. Now the crowd are really getting behind their side. A difficult situation for the Australians here to get their kick in. Bella. Hull will be trying to put pressure on the kickers. Last tackle. Kerrod Walters gets a push in the back. Langer gets his kick in. Again keeping it nice and low. Richard Gay to bring it back headlong into Mark Sargent. Eastwood from dummy half. Eastwood. Kerrod Walters and another tackle from Sargent. Blindside Sharp. They continually keep on switching plays to the blind. Mackie. Walker. Good defence from the Australians. Good tight straight line. Ontar. The angle for touch. He gets it to roll beautifully. The pressure is back on 5 metres out. Fine kick from Ontar to put the Australians where they were just a moment ago. He kept it low, and this ground really falling away. He got the roll perfect.
So it's Langer to put the ball into the scrum. Australia win it, and Hasler coming in off the wing will play it just 11 metres out from his own line. Still 4-all the score. Kevin Walters from dummy half. 12 metres out from their own line. Gillespie tries to straighten up. Not easy on this greasy ground. We had a lot of rain before the match. Bella, good strong run again from Martin Bella. He gets the ball a good 27 metres out from the Australian line. Langer, the long pass, finds Fittler. Now Fittler decides to also keep it long to Hasler. Hasler back on the inside. Hasler, Fittler. Fittler is taken in great Hull defence. And now a penalty against Hull for the swinging arm. Geyer comes racing across to have something to say and is going to be spoken to for it. I think Alexander must have had something to say as well. But the referee is really laying down the law here for the chatting. But I suppose after the comical situation we saw for a couple of minutes a moment ago, one can't blame the players for getting frustrated. Lee Jackson now appealing to the referee. He's made his decision and Australia will kick for touch through Alexander. Not far away, was it? Just inside Hull's territory, it's Sargent who comes straight down the centre. 11 metres Hull side of halfway. The penalty's now favouring Hull 5-3. Geyer, great run from Geyer, and the scrum's 3 apiece. 30 metres out from Hull's line. As Kerrod Walters goes from dummy half. Kerrod Walters has got Langer in support. The Ipswich combination almost going in again. Langer to play it, just 10 metres away. It comes to Alexander. Fittler back on the inside. Fittler back across field. Fittler going straight down the centre and just can't get the pass away to an unmarked Kerrod Walters. Walters again. Langer comes straight down the centre. Back on the inside, Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen scores for Australia. Great football again. His 9th try on tour. And they really did well to keep that alive and give Australia the lead 8-4. What good football from the Australians. Here's Kerrod Walters again on the Just Jeans replay. Back on the inside was Alan Langer. He got his arms free and backing up as he's done so brilliantly all tour. Andrew Eddinghausen scores the try. Here it is again. He did well to get his arms free. Eddinghausen did well to get into position to score the try, and that's Australia's second.
But the one good thing about Eddinghausen is that he can pop up anywhere on the field, Dave, and the number of tries he scored by all of a sudden appearing midfield. He's a great opportunist.
And tonight he's doing it well again. But what about the game that the Ipswich combination are having tonight? The Walters brothers and Langer involved very heavily in both tries. Alexander converts. So 2 more points to Australia. And here at the Boulevard, it's Australia leading Hull by 10 points to 4. After such a good start, they'd be disappointed at letting Australia back into the game there. As McNamara restarts play straight down to Alexander. And he brings Cartwright straight into the play, who brings it back to the quarter line. Well, Tony Durkin and Ricky Stewart on the sideline. Gee, I reckon that the Ipswich combination are having a ball, a real game of it out there today.
Well, Dave, Kerrod Walters really tonight has played the perfect dummy half role. He served his forward very, very well, as he's needed to do, because they've been under a lot of pressure in their own half, and his dummy half work has been superb. But down in the opposition quarter, he really has been electrifying as he's darted out of dummy half. And of course, Ricky, you came back into that second test spot, but Alan Langer certainly is having a super game tonight.
He's having a great game, and you've got to pay credit to his organisational skills. I mean, he's really got his forwards driving well. He's making a lot of yardage with his forwards, and he's having a good kicking game as well. He knows he can't make a lot of yardage from the kicks into this wind, so he has to use his forwards, and he's having a great game himself.
That's much better kicking now from Hull, as Gay put the kick in with about 10 to go here till half-time, and he put everyone on side. But Fittler, and then Walters, Kerrod Walters backing up, breaks out of the 22. Sargent. A lot of strong running from him and Bella. Langer. The dummy. Stepping. Looked to unload for Cartwright, but he was just sandwiched over the top by Dennett. Bella. Straight into Turner. That's not good thinking and unloading in that situation, though. Mackie going for Ontar. They come back quickly. Marlowe hasn't let the coaching staff of Cleal and Smith down, replacing Carl Harrison. Jackson had no first receiver until now, Dennett. He came late. Ontar switching for Sharp. Sharp can't beat the tackle of Cartwright. Last tackle, Ontar, little chip, just too strong, a little bit shorter, and it was the right thing to do. Eddinghausen beats Webb, tries to unload for Johns. Guile. Good performance by the Kangaroos into this breeze. A scoreline that's going to really worry the whole side. Johns nearly through. 40 metres out from their line. Gillespie standing, looking for support. Kerrod Walters. Still going, Kerrod Walters. And still going. What a run. Eddinghausen into the clear. The chip for Johns. Well, he chipped perfectly on Saturday for Cliff Lyons, but this one just eluded Johns. The Australian supporters in the crowd acknowledging some great play. And now Hull, with so much of advantage in this first half of the breeze, they're wasting it. Australia leading by 6. Marlowe. Jackson's looking for support, but Kerrod Walters, his opposite, is having a terrific game. A sensational game in the first 40. Jackson tries to escape. Now Ontar tries to escape. With the breeze at your backs, that is criminal not to get the kick away. Geyer, this could be another try for Australians. If they can just keep it, the full set of 6, they will really stretch this whole side. Kevin Walters. On this occasion, not as successful as his brother, who has gotten into the clear so many times. Sargent. Big Sargent nearly clear up the middle. Langer. Inside went Gillespie. Langer still going. 10 metres out. Alexander. Cut-out passes. Great passing from the Australians. Sheer pressure brought about this try. That is embarrassing Hull. Hasler has got one as they stretch this lead. They were always going to do it if they saw out the 6. And Alexander had Eastwood in no man's land. Justine's replay. Des Hasler had a very, very short run to the line. Eastwood had to come in for Cartwright. And Des Hasler said, thanks very much. Out on the wing tonight. What a utility player he is. Brian Smith and Noel Cleal shattered by this first half from the Kangaroos. Alexander sprays it across the face of the posts. But the Australians 14-4 over Hull.
It was interesting to watch that kick from Greg Alexander. He decided to lay it down instead of kicking around the corner, which is his normal want. But maybe that was to try and counter the wing, which is very strong. But with only 5 minutes to go in the second half, I think you'd have to be a very brave supporter of Hull to suggest that this score isn't going to be rather large in the end, because the Australians, I think, are all fired up to go on with it, especially the way young Kerrod Walters is playing. With Benny Elias suffering that problem a couple of days ago with his back, he still thinks that perhaps he's a chance. As now Australia bring it back. The crowd all claiming that the pass was forward. It might have been a fraction too, but the referee was 40 metres away. Alexander to play it. 20 metres out. Gillespie back towards the quarter line, stands, finds Langer. Great work from Gillespie, great work from Langer as he puts it over the top to Fittler. Now Fittler's down to the halfway. He gets under one. Fittler's still going. He gets he'll get a chance to get his pass away if the referee lets him, but he says, you're held, play on. Now, back down the centre comes Cartwright. 11 metres inside Hull's territory. Australia have still got a chance if they could play it quickly, but they couldn't. Langer. Away it comes to Geyer. They were up very quickly, Hull, that time. Just inside Hull's territory. Last tackle, Bella, Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen's kick charge down. Play on, says the referee. As Bella is tackled and 6 to go, says the referee. Open side, Langer. Langer, back on the inside. He found Kevin Walters. Kevin Walters running freely. He's got support. Quickly it comes away to Alexander. Alexander for the line. He gets it away to Hasler, and Hasler will go and score his second. And he's second off an Alexander pass as he brings it round and puts it down next to the uprights. Superb football, Australia. And again, Laurie Nichols cheers on, one of the many Australians in the crowd, and again it was a brilliant Alexander pass.
Yeah, but he's the only Australian without a jumper.
He's the only person here without a jumper. But here it is again, great work from Kevin Walters on the Just Jeans replay. Alexander backing up brilliantly. He really did well. He came to Richard Gay, and there was no one in front of Alexander. A perfect pass again, and Hasler accepts his second try in as many minutes of an Alexander pass. The end of it, Alexander coming round the back of Brad Fittler. He really did put Hasler away perfectly again. 2 perfect passes and 2 perfect finishes, and Des Hasler scores 2 tries, which were real gifts. Alexander adds the extras, and so right on half-time here at the Boulevard, Australia skipped right away to lead by 20 points to 4. Tony Durkin, a change for the Hull side.
In jersey number 17, Michael Dixon on for the Hull side, and he's replaced in the second row Steve McNamara in jersey 11.
And it's Hull who's going to restart the action. And Mackie it is this time who kicks it deep. And Australia will bring the ball back to the quarter line through Johns. It's really been a confident Australian side. Steve McNamara on the bench. Cartwright. With the combinations of work tonight and the Australian bench sitting on, they'd be enjoying this action as the Australians have really put it together in this first half. Sargent having all sorts of trouble getting up. I think you'll get a run with the Bolshoi Ballet with that performance. Out wide, it comes now to Johns. Now, can Johns get on the outside of his man? He can't. He lost the ball backwards. Referee says play on. It's Geyer who goes steaming down the centre. Over the halfway goes the big man. He just flicks it over the top, and hard luck for Australia that Kerrod Walters just couldn't handle the pass. Otherwise, that could have finished up being a sensational try. The call was there, but Kerrod just couldn't quite hold on to the pass. The Australians were there in numbers. You've seen Geyer do it before, especially with that will-o'-the-wisp Alexander lurking around. As Hull come up with the ball for what probably will be the last 6 tackles of the first half. Gay to play it. Webb from dummy half. Gets away from Eddinghausen and then runs into Cartwright. Just inside Hull's territory, Mackie. Mackie on his own. None of the Australians were going to accept the dummy. Lee Jackson. Sharp. Again, just inside Australia's territory. Dannett. Great defence. Bella really came crashing into the big man, as too did Gillespie. Dixon, the dummy half. The replacement who's just come on. Jackson trying to keep it alive. This is Marlowe. It's the last tackle. Ontar puts the ball on his foot. It came off Bella, then went into Cartwright. Bella's fallen on it. The referee has ruled Cartwright offside. So Hull get the penalty. Many times when I've seen a referee put a scrum down for that. Eastwood finds touch. So Hull go right on the attack for the last remaining moments of this first half. Dixon well into injury time as Dannett brings it ahead. 10 metres out. Dixon on tar. Here's Mackie, 11 metres away from Australia's line. As the siren goes and the referee says that's enough, that's half-time here at the Boulevard ground, and it's Australia racing away with a magnificent performance into the wind to lead Hull by 20 points to 4. We'll be back with all the second half action in just a moment.
In their lack of aggression. In fact, in his words, he said, I told the fellas you're playing too proper. Sounds like Crusher, doesn't it? But he's very disappointed in their defensive work. He said they're not numbering up and Australia are catching him just wide of the ruck. Ricky Stewart, the Australian half, was in the Australian dressing room. What did Bob Fulton have to say, Ricky?
Well, Tony, first of all, in the first half, Bozo wasn't real happy with the ball control in the first 5 to 10 minutes. He was very pleased to see that the ball discipline got better during the course of the first half. Going on to the second half, he wants to play into their half. He wants a good kicking game from the halves and Brandy Alexander. He's very impressed with the scoreline against such a strong win, but he's very keen to have progress in the scoreline in the second half.
Well, they're trying now. Eddinghausen sights the clear spaces. Inside Richard Gay, who brings him down in a good tackle. The Australians now rage away on the 22 through Gaia. Great ball for Langer. Likewise for Kevin Stewart. That's off a Hull player. That should be 6 more. Kevin Walters had passed the ball straight into a Hull player. That should have been play on, I thought. I think I said Kevin Stewart. He's jumped up at home. Kevin Stewart, the patron at Canterbury. And the former Agent General here over in England. 10 metres out. Hull. Swinging arm from Gaia. Dennett. This Hull side have gotten to the top of the English competition with a terrific defensive line, but that hasn't shown out at all tonight. Dennett. Hasler just taps it up very confidently. Taken by Dixon. Midfield, 42 out from his own line. Langer. Walters back in field for Fittler. Steps off the left. Now Fittler will take on the fullback. Will he pick his step? He might have telegraphed it a little. Again, good defence from the fullback Gay. But the Australians on fire right from the start of this second half. Langer. Knocked down, play on. Recovered by Gay. Harlow. They're in a lot of trouble, Hull. Smith and Cleo look on for a Hull side that now has a positional change, Tony.
Well, the test hooker, in fact, Lee Jackson, Graham, has moved into the second row, and Dixon, the replacement, has gone to hooker. So I think a lot of people believe that Jackson, the way he runs the football, is destined for a spot in the second row. Obviously, Noel Cleo feels the same way.
Now Dixon, ducked under one. Sharp floats it out for Turner. Turner for Webb. He kicks ahead, kicks up. Gay can't handle. A real chance goes begging. They had plenty of support inside Gay as well. Jared Walters. Taken by Dennett. Kevin Walters. Sargent up the middle. This is really opening up now. Johns handled it well. Johns straightens. Johns 40 out. Hull are getting another change ready, Tony.
Yes, in fact, in jersey number 16, Anthony Jackson is coming on for the Hull side. He'll replace the second row, Russ Walker. Interestingly enough, Noel Cleo, when I spoke to him this morning, didn't even know this boy's first name, Jackson. They know him here as Chico Jackson. Crusher didn't know his name was Anthony.
Just call me Tony, you might say. They're still trying to get the attention of the referee. the Australians. Well, on Tars, mile offside. But it's play on. And it's play on for Turner. Turner and Alexander. Alexander, I was going to say we'll put him over the touchline, but it's good play from the winger. Touch judge comes in to report who?
Surely it has to be Turner.
Well, the touch judge might be saying that Alexander was doing his best to hold him down, and he does just there. Turner resented it and let fly with the right hand. In the first instance, if he had have just kept his cool, the penalty definitely goes against Australia. It probably will still go that way, or will it? No, it won't. In retaliation, the Australians get one.
So Turner, who scored Hull's try and certainly showed a good clean pair of heels for a moment there, is penalised. And Australia will now kick for touch on this side of the field. Well, they're still trying to get Jackson onto the field. This is Anthony Jackson. Interesting, Tony Durkin talking about Lee Jackson earlier. He actually spent a fair bit of his junior football and original football over here as a second rower. As Anthony Jackson now comes on and Russ Walker comes off. He's had a couple of goes at the Aussies. He was captain of the Cumbria side who played the Aussies earlier in the tour. Australia bring it out now through Bella. Australia lead Hull by 20 points to 4. Kerrod Walters to Sargent, who's almost to the halfway. Langer. Kevin Walters goes without it. Now it's been towed through by Turner. Getting back there quickly, Alexander picks up the crumbs. And Alexander did well because he was just about up in the line on the open side when Langer went the short side, when Kevin Walters went without it. Kerrod Walters runs it out from his own half as Bella takes it strongly. Alexander back towards the line. Tony Durkin, I think Bob Fulton's about to ring a change in the Australian lineup.
Mark Carroll coming on, David, for John Cartwright in the Australian side, and this will be a great moment for Mark Carroll. Of course, he had an arthroscopy on that right knee just over 2 weeks ago now. He's worked very, very hard, and what a great spell. It's going to thrill for him to get back on the field.
He's been very frustrated too about having to watch all these matches. He'll be very happy to actually get out there and get some more football. Kerrod Walters. Kerrod Walters spots the opening. He pops it up for brother Kevin, and Kevin gets it to within 30 metres of the Australian line. The Twins really are combining well tonight, aren't they? Now Langer straight down the centre. Langer, he's got to take on the fullback. He gets it away to Kevin Walters, and Kevin scores under the post. The Ipswich connection does it again. I don't want to harp on it, but hasn't the combination been nothing short of scintillating? Brilliant stuff from the Australians tonight. I know Hull's opened up, but here's Langer again on the Just Jeans replay. He threw the dummy, he went through the great gap. Kevin Walters called for it back on the inside, and Kevin Walters, getting away from Richard Gay's tackle, does the rest and puts it down underneath the black dot. Alan Langer, another who's having a great game tonight. He found Kevin Walters back on the inside, and he did the rest to score yet another Australian try. This really has been a good display by the Australians tonight. This Hull side has only lost one game in the competition this year. They lost in the Yorkshire Cup early on. They have been playing some good football, and only a few weeks ago, as Alexander converts, Hull actually thrashed Wigan. And Australia now leading Hull by 26 points to 4. Mark Carroll makes his way onto the football field. John Cartwright has taken the early shower. Cartwright, of course, will now be kept as a reserve, no doubt, for Sunday's big match against Widnes, which you can see at 8:30 next Monday night. What a great game that's going to be. Widnes still hold on to that title as being world champions after their defeat of Canberra last year. And even without Martin Afire, they are capable of scoring tries from anywhere. That is a real must next Monday night. Should be a super game. That's the match. 8:30 next Monday night. Widnes with speed to burn up against the Australian team, which so brilliantly won that test match last week. Alexander kicks for touch. Goes over the top of Gay's head. Back into the end goal. There's a line of green and gold in front of him. And he comes at Langer, who does it in concert with Eddinghausen just outside the Hull line. 10 metres out. Hull to play it. Eastwood and Guy not seeing eye to eye for a moment. Good tackle from Carroll. That'll lift his confidence. As Hull try to run it out from their own end of the park. They're running into this breeze, remember. Australia did it so well in the first half. They've set themselves up for what should be a big win here. They lead by 26 points to 4 now. Last tackle against Hull. And that's great work from Kerrod Walters. That's a handover. And Australia will come up in possession just 20 metres out.
Langer calls for it quickly. He sends Sargent back on the inside. Sargent tried to get it back to him. It falls for Kevin Walters. Alexander knocks it back. No, he knocks it on, says the referee. Scrum to go down after the disappointment there for Alexander and Bob Fulton. Gay still going. Most of that run was across the field. The penalty will fall against Fittler. Holding the fullback down. And Hull haven't come up with too many answers, though. They come down about 45 out from the Australian line. Gannett just hits it up. Ontar. Infield for Marlowe. Pops it back. Jackson. Now Ontar. Taken by Mackey. Sharp. Sharp up the middle. 32 out. Right in the middle of the field. Mackey. They're trying to go through a back line that hasn't seen much of the ball. Nolan plays it back for Mackey. Mackey steps well. Mackey knocked down and knocked back by Kerrod Walters. The Australians survive. Terrific performance from the Australians. And Ricky, I know you think about that test match last weekend against Great Britain, and what a great win. But this has been one of the best tour performances, this one against Hull.
Certainly has been, Graham. It's been a very disciplined game. And as I said with Bob Fulton at the Sheds at half-time, he's very confident to have a successful second half, because after such a good first half in the other tour games, we haven't gone on with it in the second half. And at the moment, we're playing disciplined football and playing very well.
A real confidence builder for a few of the Kangaroos. Carroll coming back from injury. Kevin Walters. Stewart, I should say, Sargent. Johns still going. He's broken a lot of tackles in this game. Langer. Kevin Walters just gets the kick in that travels only as far as Gay. 10 metres out he'll play it. Jackson. His mind would be on the Ashes decider. Mackey. Cuts out Nolan, tried to. Knock on against Hull. Against Eastwood in the end. A scrum will set. And a scrum that should just about lay on a try for Australia. Eddinghausen. Fittler. Kevin Walters. Alexander. Eddinghausen to come around him. Kevin Walters, very much involved in this second half. Johns. What a late tackle that was from Tony Jackson. A mile too late. Langer, knocked down by Jackson. The Australians were away and probably try-bound. Lee Jackson will be sent to get the ball. Langer was looking just to get to the outside of him. There was a big hole there. Now Jackson makes the long trek back. 7-4, Hull have the scrums. And the penalties are exactly the same. As Sharp dives on the loose ball from the scrum. Mackie. He's trying his best to get something started. Jackson. Jackson back for Ontar. Ontar gets a perfect pass away for Chris Johns. Metre short of the halfway. Turner does his best to stand all over the top of Johns. Bella. Bella just running through tackles. Sargent. Bit of a mess in the play of the ball. That Marlowe was never really onside. Gillespie, Balanga, and Kevin Walters. Kerrod Walters. Jackson really did cream him over the top. The referee in there to try and cool it, but Jackson really let Kerrod Walters know he was around. Bit of pushing and shoving now as things settle. David Campbell says enough is enough. The ball back for Kerrod Walters was only in time for him to see Lee Jackson coming 100 miles an hour. Jackson then tried to let one go, and he let a big knee go as well. He really put a knee in.
I think Kerrod was upset that he got one a bit high too.
The replay didn't miss it. The replay didn't miss it at all. In Sydney, that man there, Lee Jackson, would be a very lucky man. I doubt he might have still been on the field. Alexander puts the Australians back on the attack as they lead 26-4.
So here go the Australians again, and it's Mark Carroll straight down the centre. 11 metres away. Struggles to get up. It's Sargent this time. Penalty against Hull inside the 5. Quickly, Alf Langer says, come on, let's go on with the tap. Trying to keep the pressure on Hull as they decide to go now through Carroll. Carroll slips the pass out the back. It's picked up by Geyer. Geyer throws a couple of dummies but can't get the ball down. Had he thrown it first time to Hasler, he would have picked up a hat-trick. Australia, though, still with a chance. Bella. They haven't stopped reminding him he's the only prop that hasn't scored a try on tour yet. Now, Sargent, he scored a couple. He's only a couple of metres away from the Hull line. Australia really applying the pressure now. Langer. Out it comes now to Kevin Walters. Kevin Walters to Chris Johns. Good defence from Turner, because Johns really has been able to get round his man or through him so far in his second half. Kerrod Walters. Kerrod Walters will score. Great football from the little hooker. And again, the combinations there, the twins combined to put each other in for tries tonight against Hull. Kerrod Walters comes up with one, and Australia now lead by 30 points to 4. Here it is again. Johns plays it on the Just Jeans replay. Kevin Walters back to his brother Kerrod, who sighted the opening, and straight in the corner. Kevin Walters runs the open side. Kerrod Walters takes the ball and comes back the short side straight into the gap. His opposite number, Jackson, was there, but he was equal to the task to score the try. So both brothers have given the last pass for each other to score tries tonight. Kerrod Walters, the try scorer. Alan Langer put Kevin Walters in for one. You could almost call it Ipswich's night here at Hull. Greg Alexander, a difficult kick this one, but he has got the wind behind him. Reverts to kicking around the corner. 20 metres out. Strikes it well, strikes it very well, but not quite well enough. Just missed on the outside of that upright. And so Australia leading Hull here at the Boulevard by 30 points to 4. And immediately Australia decide to return the kick way back down inside Hull's territory. Gay it is who's going to run the ball back. And Gay goes straight through. That time time is really the first opportunity he's had to run the football. I know Noel Cleale's got a big rap on this young fullback. And again, a mix-up in the whole lineup. And Des Hasler comes up with the crumbs for Australia. A crossfield. Geyer showed the ball one way, still going. He's going to play at 8 metres his own side of halfway, eventually. The refereeing quickly to make sure nothing happens. That looked to be forward as Gillespie gets it to halfway. Carroll really did overrun the football. Carroll, the dummy half. Langer the dummy. Langer stops, props, guts it away to Johns. Johns gone to Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen back on the inside, but the touch judge puts his flag up. Well, Eddinghausen thought he was in the field of play. The touch judge didn't. Tony Durkin, we've got another change.
Yes, in the Hull side, Brian Blacker in jersey number 15 is coming on. He's replacing the former South Sydney centre, Brad Webb.
So the touch judge still trying to get the replacement out there, and he does just that as Blacker comes on for Webb. And Hull come up with it. Nolan. Webb heads for the bench. Marlow. He certainly could have used the services of Carl Harrison, who played strongly in that test against the Australians. Eastwood. Shoulder charge to the ground. Running low was Carroll. Nolan. Bella hits him hard. They complain about a high tackle. The referee says it was shoulder high only. Ontard. Swivels. Mackey in there a dummy half. Mackey tries to keep it along the ground and kick through. Mistakes from this whole side, as this big scoreline really does embarrass them now. Langer, Kerrod Walters, Kevin Walters, Johns just tripped up, and a really late tackle coming in from Lee Jackson. Shoulder right over the top. Sargent. Now just watch this. Bang. So some niggling tactics really creeping in. Alexander beats Eastwood, all ends up. Out for Hasler. Hasler infield. Eastwood comes from behind to try and cover up his earlier mistake. Now out wide, Kevin Walters. Langer, the Australians trying to keep it alive. David Campbell says it's a knock-on.
Well, Graham, Paul Eastwood is just obsessed with trying to get into the action here. He's had no ball to speak of in this game so far, and I'd say he spent the last 5 minutes looking for an Australian head. He'll get one all right in the third test, I can assure him of that.
Now, he's got Gillespie for not staying in the scrum. Mackey. Won't find touch. Alexander looks up just in time. Tapped the ball forward. Well, that could have been called a knock-on. Deliberately tapping the ball forward. Doesn't have to hit the ground. Walters. Bella. Bella will play at about 42 out. Langer. Inside for Geyer. Dennett apparently injured there as he tries to get up from that tackle. Gillespie taken by 3 defenders. Dennett still down on his knees and back playing. Carroll looking to have no ill effects. Well, Marlow it is now back up. This kick is charged down. Or was it? The referee says it wasn't. Dannett is okay now. Mackey switches. Marlowe. He beats Sargent. He can't get the ball back for any support. And don't forget that Ashes decider, Australia, Great Britain, Sunday the 25th of November, 12:45 a.m., 1:45 in the morning, Eastern Daylight Time. What a clash that's going to be. The Ashes are up for grabs. It's 1-all. And it all will happen exclusively on Channel 10. Langer. Ball comes back, virtually straight back out of the scrum. David Campbell says play on, and Eddinghausen will...
American Beauties from Buick.
He had nobody in front of him. All he needed was the pass from Langer to get himself started. Now, Langer rolled clear, got the ball back for Andrew Eddinghausen. And a great sight he is in full flight. Perfectly balanced runner. He saw that no one was home. Langer caught one over the top on the Just Jeans replay, just as he unloaded to Eddinghausen to race away and to continue to pile on the points in this match against Hull. %50 from Alexander. He won't improve on it. He hits the woodwork. But the scoreline, 34 points to 4 over the competition leaders Hull.
Tony Durkin, another change coming on for Hull.
Phil Windley is coming on in jersey number 14. Now he's replacing big Andy Dannett. He was originally going to go on and replace the Frenchman, the halfback, on top. But obviously Dannett is carrying an injury. But certainly Alan Langer gave the Frenchman a bath at Parks in the Test match early this year. He's given him another one here tonight.
So here come the Australians again. Kevin Walters, who really has had a mighty game this evening. And here's Brad Fittler. Hasn't had many opportunities in the match tonight, Fittler. Kerrod Walters. This is Carroll. A few of the people starting to leave. This has been a jam-packed ground, and I can tell you that if you've got a car anywhere near this ground, it can take hours to get out of it. It takes about half an hour to get in here. That's without any traffic, so I dare say some of them taking the opportunity to go early. That most of them will stay to what really has been some champagne rugby league by the Australians. Some great ball handling skills. It's on a very greasy ground on a very wet night. One more club match to go against Widnes, the World Club champions. And coincidentally, the last club to defeat Australia way back in 1978. And they were in brilliant form only a couple of weeks ago when they thrashed Leeds. Probably the club that has given Australia the most difficult task on tour so far. Hull through Gay, Eastwood. The crowd roar. The Australians find him an easy mark to put down on the quarter line. And again, he's getting a bit aggro just because he's been tackled. And obviously because of the fact that they're a long way behind, Paul Eastwood's not happy. Mackey plays it on the quarter line. Windley got his first touch of the football. And now Marlowe tackle, almost in centre field. And Windley puts the kick over the top. Remember, he was originally coming on as a halfback, but brilliance there displayed by Kevin Walters coming across as the sweeper. Well, Ricky Stewart, we can't really eulogise enough about this display. This has been some great football by the Australians.
It's been a great display, and as you've been saying all night, the Ipswich connection, you really got to pay a lot of compliments to Alan Langer. I think he's having a great game. His combination with Kevin Walters and Kerrod is one of the main reasons that the Brisbane Broncos went so well this year, and they're really showing their skills again tonight.
Well, Windley started to throw a few windy woofs in there, but the referee soon got out of the road there. A beautiful ball to Eddinghausen. And the Australians on the last tackle will probably try and run it again here. But Langer decides to hoist it high. 10 minutes to go in the match. Gay takes it brilliantly before he's flattened by Geyer. and play will come back to the centre of the quarter line for the tap kick for Hull. And there it is again. Look at Mark Geyer. The big man was up there to make sure that Gay didn't take them too well the next time. Australia lead by 34 points to 4.
Down goes the referee, and it's here from the crowd. Higgett's here as they'll get a penalty. Martin Bell has worked hard right throughout. Eastwood looking for touch. Well, they're going to lose ground on that one. Very little has gone right for them. And that man Eastwood too. His spot, one would think, is under pressure too in the Great Britain side. Very respectable penalty count tonight, 9-6 going Hull's way. Gay trying to get through, wrestled to the ground by Fittler. Harlow taken, and the ball just comes loose. Now Fittler has a minor argument with Turner as we go well and truly inside the last 10 minutes. Scrum right on halfway. Hull trying to wheel the scrum around. Well, he's got to be offside. He had to be offside. Now, the referee's allowed play to continue. Nolan can't get clear of Langer. He made the tackle on Jackson, did well to get across there. Wheatley. Mackey. Ontar looking for runners. Ontar still skipping around. The kick is being put in. Blacker comes free and goes dead in goal. Back for a line dropout. So one of the few times that they've tested the Australians. Hasler got a push in the back way before he even got to the ball. The Australians through Alexander with the restart. And with that breeze at his back, nearly 60 metres on the fly. Nolan. Taken well by Geyer. Hands and knees, he grabs a couple. Well, Alan Langer said he was on his way. Terrific game from Langer tonight. Eastwood. His confidence is rock bottom with his kicking games, both for touch and also for goal. He improves a little here. Turner. Taken by Carroll. Can they put a try on? Jackson. 8 metres away. Windley. Good defence from the Australians. Ontar. Well, was he on the ground when he passed that? Windley. Cutting people out. Well taken by Nolan. Jackson gets it out for Turner. Turner back infield for Gay. Now Jackson got creamed by Geyer. Eastwood was clear. Eastwood just a metre short. Last tackle. Wheatley. Nolan on the inside, knocks on. So the scrum will go down.
Last tackle.
They didn't recover it, so it's a handover for the Australians. They'd lost it anyway. Mackey was trying to tow ahead. Bella, 10 out from his own line. 34-4. Walters gets called back for a knock on.
You can almost hear the forward pack from here. Rick, drive. There yelling. The captain's given the order and the T-bus is straight to the drive-through window to collect their takeaway.
So Hull will get their last opportunity to put something on here. Sharp to play the ball. They've got a bit sloppy as Jackson gets it out to Windley. Windley gets it away to Marlowe. Marlowe goes without it. It's a knock on both ways, and the scrum will go down just outside Australia's line. Well, Marlowe played strongly, former rugby union player. Was only recently converted to rugby league. Wasn't in the side originally. As Australia now bring it out through Johns. Don't forget, stay on after the game for our Just Jeans man of the match. And what a difficult task that will be to choose tonight. So many good players in this Australian lineup tonight. As Australia bring it out again through Carroll. Can they lay on another try in the last 5 minutes of the match? Out to the quarter line come the Australians. Sargent to play it. Kerrod Walters. Back to Alexander for the kick. And Alexander finds touch about 30 metres out from the Hull line. The crowd becomes hushed. Nowhere near the noise that was there at the beginning of the game. They've enjoyed this display from the Australians. They've realised that Hull played well for a while, but this has probably been the best performance by the Australians, especially midweek, so far on tour. The Penrith connection out there, Fittler and Alexander doing the tackling. Mackie trying to bring Jackson down the centre. As Jackson manhandles Geyer. Mackie finally gets up and plays the ball. Jackson from dummy half, taken by Geyer. And now Mackie it is who's pulling Geyer away from Jackson. Open side, Windley, Ontar. Ontar sights the opening, gets the pass away. Nolan, back it comes again. This is Blacker, back on the inside. Gay's got it. Windley now picks it up. The referee says play on. That ball's been knocked down by Langer. Jackson's gone without it. And now Ontar is tackled back where the original play the ball took place. Oh, what an incredible chain of events. Saw the ball go 40 metres one way and then 40 metres back the other, and it was only touched once by an Australian. Jackson, Sharp. Last tackle against Hull. They're going down like wounded soldiers all over the place, Hull. And Tony Durkin, I think you'd agree, this has been a very good performance by the Aussies tonight.
No doubt, Graham, the best, the best midweek performance by the Australians. No doubt about that. And I think they've had their confidence boosted by the great win by the Test team on Saturday. But a lot of these players have struggled on tour so far, and it's really terrific to see them get in there tonight and play so well, particularly Alan Langer and Kerrod Walters, who really, I don't think, have produced their best form on tour so far until tonight. They've been absolutely superb.
And there's Kevin Walters sending the pass across that Johns lost. And then, as Turner tried to pick it up, he too knocked it on. So the knock on both ways, which saw the scrum go down. Hull came up with possession. Gay. Closing stages of this match. As Blacker is tackled, 10 metres inside Australia's territory. Nolan back on the inside, taken by Bella. Good solid tackle that. And Bella's another who's had a strong game tonight. Windley, Ontar throws the long pass that Turner had to wait some time for. He loses the ball despite the attentions of Johns. He gets up. Jackson. Back it comes to Ontar. Ontar spies the opening. Open side. He gets it away now towards Dixon. Dixon just outside the quarter line. Last tackle against Hull. Jackson. Windley throws the dummy, and a great tackle from Sargent it is, who puts him to the ground. And Australia come up in possession. That was the last tackle, the handover. As Australia run it away, this will be their last set of 6, one would think. Not long to go in this match. Fittler. Midway, half and quarter line, inside Australia's territory. Kerrod Walters. Sargent almost to the halfway line. Two great matches still to come on the English section of this tour, of course. Widnes, one of the real glamour sides of British Rugby League. You can see that next Monday night. And then don't forget the third test live from Ellen Road. What a great match that's going to be. The Ashes decider as Alexander gets it away to Geyer. Geyer comes back on the inside, getting under the high tackle of Eastwood as the hooter goes in the background.